Apologies in advance for the stomping that you can hear throughout this audio. It sounds like I keep hitting my mic, but it's actually just children running around upstairs from me. They're not my children. I can't control them. They're the neighbors. It is what it is. Okay. Welcome to the Queer Thriving Podcast, where we draw inspiration from the past, cultivate thriving in the present, and dream boldly of a better future. Hi, I'm Kari. Any pronouns work for me? I'm glad you're here. What I'm going to talk about today can be easily misinterpreted. It can be wielded clumsily and used poorly by people who don't really get it. So I want you to know that going in, there's going to be a lot more nuance to this than the way it has been presented to me in the past. All right, enough caveats. The self-care practice we're going to talk about is gratefulness. I know. When I've been depressed and can barely function, it has felt like a slap in the face for someone to suggest that I just focus on the things I'm grateful for. It's like you're lost in this endless night and someone thinks that a little bit of gratefulness will turn the world and bring you back into the light of day. If only it were that easy. No, it's more subtle than that. I think it's more like putting stars in the sky of your night. It gives you something at least to focus on, some way to get your bearings, some memory of what light even looks like, even if you have very little of it at the moment. So yes, it's important, but don't put it on yourself to cure your night with the power of positive thinking. Here's another way to look at it from a more neurobiological perspective. Gratitude fires up different parts of the brain and activates parts associated with empathy, perspective taking, positive emotions, feelings of social connection, and reinforces positive memories. And as brain scientists say, neurons that fire together, wire together. That basically means that every time you push your brain into a practice that feels unnatural, it will become just a little bit easier every time and eventually feels like a natural default setting for your brain. I'm not asking you to go through life with rose-colored glasses. It's more like the difficult things in life can be so large and so painful that you have to make a practice out of noticing other things too. Or else you may start to feel like those difficult things are the only things in your life. It's easy to forget about your good physical health, if you have it, when your relationships are strained, right? Or the opposite, easy to forget about your good relationships if your health is suffering. The point is, you don't have to make yourself delusional about how good your life is. Just notice that there is good to be found. Let me be clear, this suggestion about practicing gratitude is not for the comfort of others. It isn't so that you can be going through something and make everyone less uncomfortable because now you can downplay your pain by reciting some things you are thankful for. No. This is about throwing down some anchors in the middle of a storm. You can still be rocked by the storm, but it gives you an opportunity to have some sort of internal stability. Because your internal landscape is something you actually have input in, and the world around you contains so much outside of your control. If you can give yourself any sense of steadiness by focusing on real things that are already present in your life, then you should absolutely do that. Okay, so let's talk about the practicality of doing some reflecting on things that we are grateful for. To me, it feels way too hard to start with just the wide open question, what are you grateful for? So I'm going to give you some prompts to get your mind going based on the who, what, when, where, how, why questions to give yourself a basic framework to work off of. Who has made a positive impact in your life? What is something you have done that you are proud of? When did you feel like your truest self? Where do you feel the most safe and able to be yourself? Why do you appreciate those most important to you? How can you do something for yourself today that sparks joy? As you can see, this is a little more of an expansive view of gratitude. These types of prompts give you a little more space to reflect on relationships, self-actualization, safety and security, and setting the framework for cultivating more joy in your life overall. If those concepts feel too big right now and you just need to start with something more accessible, that's fine. Just start with your immediate surroundings. What is in your line of sight that you are grateful for? Maybe it's a video game console that gives you a happy escape from, normal everyday life. Maybe it's a comfy blanket that's soft and cozy and just feels good on your hands and skin. Maybe it's a pair of shoes that boost your confidence every time you wear them. It can really be anything. You'll be able to worry about the more expansive and complicated things another day. For now, doing a gratitude practice at all is still conditioning your brain to magnify the good things in your life, even when the bad things feel so overwhelming. I think this practice is especially needed when we can get so swept up in our worries about the future. But the reality is the future is an unknown. We have guesses, and we can make decisions based on our guesses. But as for the rest, we just kind of have to live into it and find out what the future holds by getting there. So focusing on the now and the things that bring joy or peace or goodness into your life right now, even in small ways, is a practice that primes your brain to be more ready to notice the positive things in the future and manage the stress about the future. I know we are all very worried specifically about what Trump's second term will look like. I think that concern is an appropriate response, given what we know about him as a person and what he has declared about his goals. These are both scary things. So yeah, it makes sense to be nervous. But we still have to manage that anxiety in a way where we can make it through the day. In an immediate sense, we need to be okay enough in ourselves to simply live. In a larger way, we need to do what we can to hold on to the hope that we can impact the future, because what people in power want is for oppressed and marginalized people to give up, to lose hope, to think they can't make a difference. But we can. But for now, prime your brain to see the good so that we can be practiced at noticing the good things that do come to us. And so we can carry that perspective with us into the future for our own stability and steadiness, no matter what the future holds. Until next time, keep resisting, keep dreaming, and keep thriving.